Hi, this is Cecilia from Tarot by Cecilia, and this is your weekly tarot guidance for the week of October 23rd through the 29th of 2017. So, how are things going so far? Because up to this point, there's been a great deal that's been changing. And this week, on the 23rd, we see the sun enter Scorpio. And I remember saying it somewhere, I honestly don't know where, but I remember saying that when the sun enters Scorpio, there was like this whole different feeling that was going on, and it's a good one. All right, now, as far as your plans, I'll tell you what, it's like finally you're seeing things coming together. It's not to say that you haven't accomplished anything. That's not the case. But you've got the right people, the right things are happening. The right choices are being made. And you know, this is a funny thing. It doesn't matter how old you are. You know that saying, you're never too old to learn something new. And patience has brought in some really good things for you. Now, as I'm looking at this, I'm thinking to myself, how through experience, that's where we get wisdom. Okay. That's my secret, people. All right. Experience. But, here's the thing. It's like you want to share it now. You want to tell your story to anyone who will listen. You've heard me say it a number of times over the last couple of years that, like, when you got past all of this, many of you are really going to want to write a book. And many of you have a story worth telling. Because that's it. I see it's like sharing that story. The story of my life, the story of my spiritual journey, and how I came to be in this better place than I am now. So, wow. I'm really like, wow. So, while life really is a continuing journey, and, you still have things to learn and, adventures to, live, there is so much more wisdom that you have now. And maybe it is time to share a little bit of it. Not in a bossy way. It's just meant and is, well, you know what? I went through similar experiences and I can help you with this. I can tell you about that. Whatever it is, but it feels like there's a sharing that's taken place here. That others can learn from you. And that's also to say that you can learn from others. So there's a big theme that's going on here. It's like you've worked your way up to this position. This can even come through the workplace that you're doing this. Maybe you're in charge of a team. Maybe you've become a manager of some sort. But I really think that even if you aren't, you're the go-to person. You're the guy they come to when they want to know, how does this work? How do I do this? Yeah. See? And all of a sudden you're going, wow, I really do know things. And there's that part of you that's wondering, what else is out there for me? Oh, there's so much more. And you know what? That's where you're at. You're like, I want to know what comes next. I want to find a new path. And it's not to say that you're, not wanting to be on the path that you're on. You're realizing that there's a whole world out there. So you've had all of these experiences and all these struggles that you've overcome, and you're ready to see where this next leg of your journey takes you. So, good for you. This has been, like this whole month, a month for building up security. Not just wealth, okay, but that making things right in your life so that you can continue on in a more secure fashion. That's the best way that I can put it. I mean, you all have your stories of what these recent years have held for you, and there's just such big change that has taken place. And there's this feeling of like, I'm back in my power. I'm back in charge. Wow. So there's a powerful new beginning I think it's already come, but you're really starting to feel it. Like, what can I create? I want to create abundance, not just for me, but for everyone. That type of thing. Because, as I said, you're wanting to pursue your hopes and dreams. And you're asking, what's out there? What can I do? I don't know what it is about this week, but there's a wonderful feeling here. There's some form of, I want to say, triumph over the past, but it's not in a gloating way. It's, that like, wow, I've been through the ringer and look at me now. Like giving thanks, not for the experience. I'm sorry. I'm still feeling at odds with the universe for what everyone had to go through and endure. But the bottom line is that you did. And, things are, from the standpoint of how you feel about the universe and the faith that you have, they're definitely looking up. And there's a special place in your life for, the good memories from before. And I think if there's a way to just continue on and only keep the good ones and not let the bad ones creep in, that'd be good, because that focus needs to shift there. All right. The reality is that it's a whole new life that's here, and you have new things that you're working on, and there are positives. There's so many positives. This story has changed in these last couple of weeks, like over the course of October. It's really started coming in, and you've been seeing it happening. There are good relationships, and I want to say odd relationships. I'm trying to figure out a way to put this. Like being friends with people, whether it's friends, whatever, people would not say, oh, those two don't belong, those two don't belong together. And then, but they're mismatched, is what I'm getting at here. But they work perfect. So you could be joined at the hip with a new friend, a new acquaintance, in some way that, while people would say, no, they're nothing alike, I'm telling you, it works. All right. There's a very solid feeling around you now where you're saying life is getting good and things are looking up. I'm like, all right, this hasn't happened before. There have been ups and downs and back and forths, and honestly, there have been good things that have happened in the last couple of years. But it always kind of seesawed, where it didn't want to continue. So there's a very positive change that's coming in here. And as you heard me say, the only thing I mentioned this week was the sun moving into Scorpio. So, there you have it. And I know I mentioned it somewhere before. The clarity is here. You've severed what needs to be severed. Okay, that's good. And that's probably also in that relationship department. With the old politics makes strange bedfellows. Ooh, that's a saying I haven't heard in a while. Okay, I don't know why that's coming out of my mouth. And this isn't about politics, but it has to do with like whatever people are around you and who you're associating with and why. But it works. It works. So that's what you need to remember. Something in that message this week is important for you to know. You still have much to work out in your life. I'm not so much in the fixing department. This is in the new department. It's like, yeah, I want to do this, and this, but you want it right. You want it right. You want it secure. You want to be totally meticulous about it, because you've entered an area of life recently where you're in this for the long haul. So it's going to change a lot, and it's going to change a lot over the years. That's going to keep continuing. But it's fascinating to me because you're no longer willing to just accept whatever comes your way. You're really going to scrutinize things now as they come in your direction. Like, is this a good relationship? I don't know. Should I go on that date? Maybe not. You don't have to date everybody that comes along or enter every relationship that comes your way. So call it being fussy or whatever. You've been through so much. And now you're just saying, you know what? No, that doesn't work for me. My time is too important. And no offense to anyone, but no, I'm not going to do that. I'm just not going to do that. So there's nothing wrong with this at all. I think it's a wonderful thing, because sometimes in order to fill our lives, we will, we'll go on that date. We'll keep going on dates. We'll go, over here and, keep trying to make this happen and trying to make that happen. And now we're at that point where it's not that, like I said, you're not gloating at your success, but you're definitely considering how much hard work it took to get here. And, that review of decisions where, you can make a poor decision and it can do a lifetime of damage. All right. That's like that entering into a relationship that you shouldn't, marrying the wrong person. It cost you a fortune. I don't know where all that's coming from. But you see what I'm saying? Your criteria for what you will accept in your life has changed. And it's a result of everything that you've been through and what you hope to accomplish in this next part. And I'm telling you, this next part is a really, really long time. But it's not one that gets stagnant, okay? You're creating this whole new life. And you, like I said, you've already started working on it, but you're going to manifest. We got something coming up out of the blue here. It's more likely that it comes in by the full moon in November, but it's like, bam, it's yours. Okay? So the changes are going to keep on happening. You have a lot of new, this full moon wants to come up, and I don't know why, but it's here, maybe because it's not that far away. It's in Taurus on November the 4th. All right, so keep that in mind. There's definitely a big change by then, and this has to do with your wishes. It's like, boom, it's there. It's happening. It's a very karmic time. So we're coming into this energy. That doesn't mean you have to wait until the full moon for it to happen. I really don't believe that. I think by the full moon, you're sitting there feeling like life has been reborn. So if this is the 23rd to the 29th, the one for the full moon is going to be coming up, what? Next week. So, you see what I'm saying? It's like there's something going on here. And I wish I could remember where it was that I first said that when the sun goes into Scorpio, something important was going on. So there have been a lot of something importance that have happened, but this is a big deal. This is what allows you to move forward in a big way, in a really big way. This is a wish. I'm loving it. Okay, I'm absolutely loving it. And you're quiet about it. I mean, yeah, you might go tell your best friends and everything, whatever's going on. But it's not even that you're being sneaky. You're just like, okay, all right, let me just go quietly take care of all this and make this happen. Maybe almost because it feels like it's too good to be true. This is a huge change. But you put yourself in a position, I'm telling you, mentally, what you choose in life now, you're very careful about. And that's important. It's very important. See, as the sun enters Scorpio on the 23rd, you have a very big victory. All right. But it's also, there's something there that's lost. I remember talking about something, could have been last week, could have been the week before, or it could have been October Love and Finance, but about that separation. It's a good one. It's a much needed one. So it's almost like a letting go of something. You maybe can't totally see what it is, but it's coming. And there's some form of a renewal by the full moon. And if you have been at odds with another person, this could be viewed as a truce that's coming in. Okay. That's a good possibility. The full moon next week is very key. So we will have full moon guidance on Patreon, and we'll have a daily, and we'll have next week's weekly, and whatever. There's something coming up here. But it's almost as though, because, we had, I guess last week was the new moon, maybe. right? Somewhere in there. And I remember saying that between the new moon and the full moon, or the full moon and the new moon, however you want to put it. But actually, with this one, I'm going to say from the new moon that was on the 19th to the full moon that's on the 4th, okay? You kind of feel like you're operating on blind faith. But that's okay, because there's a whole new adventure that's there. I'm telling you, it's just, there's a really big change that comes in this week. So by the time we're talking about this next week, remember how I've been saying that in the month of November, you could relax, you could exhale, let out that sigh of relief. Yeah, it's here. Whatever it is that needs to happen, it's here. It's happening this week. This between this week and next week. I guess by next week it's a done deal. So we'll have to see. Whatever it is that you're doing, and that story changes, for everyone. Not changes, but it's different. This is all about fate, and there's so much karma in here. I'm like, all right. So there is, see, the adventure begins, and it's just, see, you've had to trust in the journey, and that's okay. And there's been a great deal of patience involved with it as well. But you're ready. You're ready. It's like, guide me, show me the way. I'm telling you, the balance in your life comes in next month. Whatever makes it all okay. It's almost like there's something that gets finished up, like an important document that needs to be signed or whatever. Not to say that you might not sign something this week, because I'm kind of getting the feeling, because we're at the tail end of a month, that something tells me that you're ready to sign now. And whatever it is, like if you sign it now, it's going down in November. Does that make sense? Okay? Whatever that's about. Yeah. You have manifested it, and this is where things just lift. If you thought you were going along, and I want to say, I want to use the word carrying, okay? Maybe it's not physical carrying, but it could be. If you're someone who's moving, there are many of you out there that are looking to move, because it's kind of like going from one place to another, but you're taking something with you. Matter of fact, you're taking a great deal with you to this other place. So it's, I don't think it's baggage. I don't think it's excess baggage. That you're leaving behind, all right? So you're really, it's like you're there. Your anticipation of what's coming. It's almost like I can hear the messages coming now. Okay, Cecilia, what's next? What's next? I'm going over here. I know this is the next stop on my journey, but I'm telling you, this is my new beginning, and I'm looking out, and I'm like, okay, I have this whole life ahead of me, and I'm wondering what it holds. I really, really want to know. I guess I should turn over another card. Wow. Complete change. Like life that you've never known before. Yeah. I want to say, where we at now, this is the end of October, that there's a big change come March. Okay? So this, this is like another transition that's going on in your life, and you've been waiting for this something special. It's there. It's coming towards you. And I think March is the month that arrives. And it could very well be something that has to do with an emotional bond. If you've been looking for love, love could be out there. Wow. Wow. I can hear the messages now. So, part of you is like, okay, I'm not sure I believe it because I'm here. I'm in this spot. But don't think that way, because it's all coming. And I always remind everybody that if you're in a position where you're waiting for a new relationship to come in, that doesn't mean you have to wait until March for it to start. All right? I think that's where it gets good, if that makes sense. Okay? Because you're what you're doing right now, this week, and this is the most important thing to remember, whether you're signing something, you're doing something, whatever is going on between now and you got this full moon coming up next week and everything, it puts you in charge of your happiness. Bottom line. So I want to thank you all very much for being here, and I'll see you again real soon. Take care.